Naveen and Preeti. Hello, everybody. This is my mic, and I didn't know it. This mic is mine, and I use it for singing some songs. And the moment I heard Janaki speak in this mic, I said, "How is it sounding so good?" So I thought, no, I thought it's maybe random. And Naveen spoke, it still sounded good. Whereas, kya ho raha hai? I said, maybe I'm not doing it the right way. That's all. I'll take some tips from you how to speak in the mic. So, hello, all of you. This panel discussion was primarily set up to give you different perspectives, right? It doesn't matter that the audience size is small. In fact, let's take that to advantage. Since it's small, if any of you want to chip in, after they say, please do so. We'll keep it an informal discussion. So initially, I'll ask questions specific to people. But supposing I ask it to Janaki, and after Janaki answers, if there's anybody who wants to add on, please feel free to do so, right? And similarly from the audience. So, Janaki, the first question I would like to ask you is, what does liberal or open learning mean to you? Please understand why I'm asking this. We have two founders of a school that practices that. We have a parent of a child going there. You're the only one here who is not directly connected.
I'll tell you how I'm connected.
Yeah, sure. Please do.
Yeah, you don't know the connection
Please
yet.
do.
Okay. My daughter, she got this Young India Fellowship at Ashoka University after she did. She won the scholarship, and I was the whole family was very excited because she had to move. She's a single child, so she had to move away to Delhi. Now I am a Delhi girl. My husband is Bombay, and her Hindi was Ek Gaon Raghutata, which was not allowed at home. Especially she's a beautiful singer, and I used to focus on the lyrics, and I'll say "Aapka talaffuz theek nahi hai," and she'll say. My ulterior motive was her Hindi will become good. Okay, she had to. But little did I realize that after Young India Fellowship Program, where she learned liberal arts. I mean, we didn't even know, okay, back then, what was liberal arts. I mean, what is it that she's going to learn? All that, I knew that she was going through a gamut of different topics, like even history. And Rudhranshu Mukherjee, I mean, she learned from the best. And I can say it was Dhwani before Young India Fellowship Program and Dhwani after. Why I'm saying that? She learned the ability to question. She learned critical thinking. She realized that it is okay to ask questions. It is okay to change your path. It is okay. I mean, she had a mother who was continuously changing paths and trying out various different things. But I think what I learned to answer your question specifically is I think to be fearless completely and not to get into any box and actually think out of the box. That I want to learn something which is, I mean, she is now a food and brand strategist. She worked with Swiggy, she worked with a coffee chain, but she wants to change the way people view food. So she also cooks and she also presents. For her, the art of presentation, even if it means a sambar, when she takes photo, that's because she learned whatever she learned in MOP, electronic media, the camera was given, but she's able to put it all together and say, this is how I'm going to present it, and it's okay that she's not fitting into any other box that society might have said, oh, you did this, so you should be doing this. So for me, I think this liberal learning is all about being free, staying curious, and also, again, I'm saying to learn from your failures. It's okay if things didn't go a particular way. And she did go to London, she did her culture, media studies, and so as, but she put it all together. See, no education will ever go waste, according to me. Even if it is a regular school or whatever, there must have been one teacher who has made that difference. It's not that we're all products of some school here, and we all have that one teacher who we look up to, who will, again, they must have told us a very good story, because that's how hearts connect. We will not remember the lessons. We will only remember the story, and like Maya Angelou says, people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never ever forget how they made you feel. And that feeling is only out of that freedom that we get to do what we want to do. So for me, liberal thinking, liberal learning is all about learning, unlearning, and then having the freedom to learn again. Because I think that is the continuous way to, I think, just live your life at the fullest.
Wow. You want to add something, any of you, to this?
When she says teacher, I was remembering my Tamil teacher and history teacher. She will say, முத்துங்கிற 3 வார்த்தையில 3 லெட்டர்ஸ்ல 4 மிஸ்டேக் பண்றோம் நீதான்டா. But that story remains. But she was also the one who would say, Padma, meaning my official name is Padma. Padma, நீ நல்லா படிக்கிறியே, இந்த ரீட் பண்ணு. In a class of 80, when she says நீ நல்லா படிக்கிற ரீட் பண்ணு, that just, it touches you. You can, after, I think now 40 years or so, you still remember that comment. And I think that's what pretty much teachers do for you.
The two stories that come to mind, one of them is, I studied in KFI school in Bangalore, Valley School. And Kabir Jaitirtha, who was one of the founders of the Valley School, he was my homeroom teacher. So he would, every morning, he would want us to come for yoga at 5 o'clock. And it was such a pain. Such a pain. I'm not a 5 o'clock person or a yoga person, but I used to go for swimming at 4:30 in subsequent years. But anyway, one day he just held me and he shook me and asked, who do you think you're going to yoga for? I said, for you. So, when you say teachers come to mind, this is one that comes to mind. But God rest his soul, he was an amazing teacher. He always said, pursue what you're passionate about. I see that you're pursuing what society is telling you to pursue. Give it up quickly, so that you'll be happy. It took me till 32 to figure that out.
But you figured it out.
I figured it out, but I never got to tell him before he passed away. That's one story. The other is that, not everybody is wired similarly. My chemistry teacher, which was Yasmin Auntie, which was Kabir Uncle's sister, she had this expectation that everybody be very smart in chemistry, or any other subject actually. So she told me, the answer is in this paragraph. And I read it and said, where? Right? I couldn't figure out for the life of me what was the question. So I couldn't find the answer, obviously. Oftentimes, education is so prescriptive that everybody should be able to see it so easily. If one, as adults, we look at all our children's books and we say that it's so simple. That time has passed for us to be able to understand it. We are not able to recognize when children see that same book. Anyway, these are the odd stories that come to mind. But it's about the people, right? The people that cared, that matter.
Wow. Thank you. So the question, I'll give it to Raji now. Traditional schools pretty much offer what we had studied way back and when we grew up. So why do you think that today there's a need for change in thinking? What has happened in these last few years for?
I don't know. I think the world is changing. It just seems first principles approach, right? When the world is changing, you need to change. If you say that I'm just going to stay like one rock and I'm not going to change, I'm not going to move, I'm not going to learn, I'm not going to upskill, I'm not going to, I'm going to reminisce the past so much that I'm not going to acknowledge that the future has come at the doorstep. I'm not going to do justice to myself. You leave everything else. I think we are talking about us, right? We're talking about learner design futures. We are talking about myself. I used to write lesson plans for the classes that I would teach, right? Now I have AI. And when I use an AI to write that plan, the speech that I gave, it was all my thoughts, my ideas, my context, but I asked AI to stitch it in a way that's easy for me to coherently, cohesively stitch it together so that I can deliver it in a way that's natural to me. So I used, if I had not done that, I would have delayed the whole open day. I would have said, Sridhar, let's do it 1 month later. Let the creative juices flow in me, and then I will take a whole month. At the same time, it was led by me. It was enabled by AI, but it was led by me, my context, my strengths, what appeals to me. I told it everything. I told it this is Chennai, this is what it is, and that is education, that is beyond it, and I want it to be stitched like this, woven like that. And then sort of, then something beautiful comes out. So the human effort is not going to go away. But at the same time, if you don't use the tools that are available at your disposal, then you're going to become that person who will sit in one corner and say, "Kya ho gaya zindagi? But ye bachon ko dekho, அந்த குழந்தையை பாரு, அவன் படிக்க மாட்டேங்கிறான், இவன் வந்து இந்த காலத்து குழந்தைகளுக்கெல்லாம் இந்த காலத்து குழந்தையெல்லாம் ஆல்ஃபா ஜென்ரேஷன், அவள்லாம் இன்ஸ்டாகிராமில் பர்சனலைஸ்டாக ஃபீடு வருது, போஸ்ட் வருது, எல்லாமே அவளுக்கு பர்சனலைஸ்டாக வரும்போது ஒரு எஜுகேஷன் பர்சனலைஸ்டாக இல்லைன்னா எப்படி அவளை வந்து நம்ம பிடிக்க முடியும்ல. ஸோ we need to change with the changing times. Only then will we be able to have that self-worth within ourselves, and we will be able to connect with the real world that is around us, and we will be able to appreciate what's happening around us. And that makes us move forward positively while carrying that tradition, while carrying that legacy, but not making it burden us down, not making us slow it down, but making, using that to root our thoughts and yet be guided by the innovations around us. I think that's why we need to change for ourselves, for the peace of mind of those around us, so that we can be positive and encouraging and motivating. And that's so important in the space of education. When you're working with children, the children are already in a different world. If a teacher says that your world is different and mine was different and I don't like your world, barriers start happening, and that's where the child is not connecting with you. So you need to look forward, because it's for your own well-being and it's for the people around you who you can inspire, who you can motivate and ignite.
Yeah, I like that answer, but there's a redirect and anybody can take that. So you want to add?
He's not happy.
இல்லைங்க ஆக்சுவலி டாக்கிங் அபவுட் த ட்ரெடிஷ்னல் சிஸ்டம் ஆஸ் அ பேரண்ட்ஸ் வி ஆர் இன் த பேட்ச் ஐ வுட் சே வி ஆர் அ சாண்ட்விச் பேட்ச்னே சொல்லலாங்க. அப்பர் ஜென்ரேஷன் வென் வி ஆல் ஸ்டடிட் மார்க்ஸ் கரிக்குலம் they were the main importance. Somewhere the society drives us towards it. Nowadays as a parents we are thinking நம்ம படித்தோம் மார்க் வாங்கினோம், வாட் ஆர் த பாயிண்ட் வி ஆர் யூஸிங். அண்ட் யூ சீரியஸ்லி ஓன்ட் பிலீவ் ராஜி, வாட் ஹேப்பன் இஸ் எங்கள் வீட்டில் என்னோட ஹஸ்பண்ட் ஹீ இஸ் நாட் அ வெரி குட் ஸ்டூடெண்ட், ஹீ இஸ் அ அவுட் கோயிங் ஸ்டூடெண்ட், ஆல்வேஸ் ஸ்டாண்டிங். ஸோ இப்போ கூட ஈவன் ஸ்ரத்தா ஹேட் அ வெரி பிக் கால் ஆஃப் அவங்கள இன்டர்வியூ கூப்பிட்றதுக்கு. ஹி ஹாஸ் ஆல் த நைட் மேர் ஸ்கூல் இன்டர்வியூனாலே ஹி வில் ரன் அவே அதர் வே ரவுண்ட். பட் ஜோக்ஸ் அப்பார்ட், அக்கௌண்ட்ஸ்னு எடுத்திங்கன்னா ஹை ஸ்கோர் ரியலி வெல். அவங்க பார்த்தீங்கன்னா மேக்ஸ் 10th அப்புறம் என்னோட மதுரைங்களா காலேஜ் சேர்க்கறதுக்கே ஹி வாஸ் அ பிக் ஸ்ட்ரகிள். இன்னைக்கு ஹி குட் டூ த டெபிட் அண்ட் கிரெடிட் இன் அ வெரி குட் வே. என்ன கேட்பாங்க இது வந்து டெபிட்டா கிரெடிட், ஐ யூஸ் டு திங்க் இது டெபிட்டில் வருமா கிரெடிட்டில் வருமா. ஸோ இட்ஸ் லைக் வாட் ஆர் யூ டூயிங், வாட் த எஜுகேஷன் ஹஸ் கிவன் அஸ். நம்ம படித்தோம், எஸ் படிப்பு தான் வாழ்க்கைங்கிறது. It was driven to us, it was compelled to us. Ipa as a parents, many of us sit together and we discuss what the education has given us. Why we need to do this to the children. Let them explore. This is not the only way out. See, if you want to do a business now, engineering பண்ணாதான் நீ production பண்ணுங்கிறது இல்லை. It's a completely wrong thing. While we recruit people for our manufacturing thing, my father-in-law always used to say, டாப் ஐஐடிலேருந்து இன்ஜினியரிங் அண்ணா யூனிவர்சிட்டிலேருந்து எடுத்துகிட்டு வந்திருப்போங்க. சார் வி டோன்ட் நோ சார். சாரி சார், சாரி. டிரைவர் சொல்லுவாங்க, எதுக்குங்க இவ்வளோ கஷ்டப்படுறீங்க, எங்கள் தஞ்சாவூர் பக்கம் 10 பசங்க இருக்காங்க, கூட்டிட்டு they will bring the person, they will know, அவங்களுக்கு எதுவுமே தெரியாது, செமிகண்டக்டர் அண்ணா இதெல்லாம் தெரியாதுங்க, ரெட் ஒயர் க்ரீன் ஒயர் கனெக்ட் பண்ணுங்க, மிஷின் ஓடும். That's it, seriously. So the way they are passionate and they are curious to do things, that drives them. So end of the day, what drives our children or the world, which gives you the happiness.
Very true, very beautifully said.
Actually, Raji spoke to two girls recently who came to our school. They were going to I think a CBSE school somewhere. Twin children, girls. They both said for whatever reason we will not use AI at all. She had a very important point she made. One is that AI is here whether you like it or not. It is going to do some part of the job in many of the jobs that we understand as of today, and it's going to create perhaps plenty more jobs as well. But more importantly, she said, if you don't use AI to enable you to do the things that you want to do, there's one more reason for women to grow in a workplace. To say you're not skilled enough in the way that the world requires you to be skilled. So again, point for girls and women, I think it's important that all the more they be good users of technologies that are prevalent. They're not going to go away just because we think that consumption of energy is ridiculous. Yes, it is. We have to solve the problems that we can solve. But if we don't use the technologies available, and when it is going to get more and more prevalent, especially for girls, I think it will play against women and girls. And I think just staying with the times is more important now so than ever, I would imagine. And to your point, kandipa, naane vandu enga another memory, we are all going back in memory lanes and storytelling. நான் வந்து எக்ஸாமோட ரிசல்ட்ஸ் வரும்போது அம்மா செட் என்னானாலும் வீட்டுக்கு வந்துரு அப்படின்னா, நான் வந்து கவலைப்படாத, நீ பருப்பு சாதமும் உருளைக்கிழங்கு கறியும் பண்ணுவேன், நான் கண்டிப்பாக வந்துடுவேன், மார்க்கலாம் இனிமே யூ டோல்ட் மீ இதெல்லாம் ஒன்றும் இம்பார்ட்டன்ட் இல்லை அப்படின்னு. And Raji and I have worked with and recruited people who have come from the top educational institutions, and also found that they have something, but they also don't have something. Like we have something, we also don't have something, and that's okay. I don't know diddly squat about 99% of the world, but I do know something about this little thing that we work on. And that's enough. That's where my interest is. That's where my passion is. And to all of us, that's all that's required. Just know a little bit about the thing that you're interested in and make progress in your own way. And that's more than enough in the world.
So I tell them, they say, oh, I'm a sir, na engineer na. But they don't say I'm an engineer. They say I've done my, very apologetically, na engineering panne. I don't know why. I don't know why it happens.
You know that story, in Bangalore, they say, கல் தூக்கி போட்டா தெருநாய் மேல அது இன்ஜினியர் மேல தான்.
And we are both engineers, included in the joke.
Of course, yes. So Raji, you said a very nice thing, but I'm saying, how can this transformation happen? I'm asking any of you, if the teachers do not believe in this transformation. Because Naveen mentioned that there are some people even today who say, look at this person, he is using AI and all that, So what if the teaching community does not change? How can this entire process come? Are you understanding what I'm saying?
Yeah. I hope the answer is related to what you're saying, but the answer is culture, Sridhar. Organization culture. The education system, the school that the teacher is working in, or the alternative to ecosystems that the teachers are working in, they need to have that vision that you need to be flowing with the learner and not be attached to a philosophy that is redundant. If that culture sort of propagates the understanding that children are unique, that we need to preserve their self-worth, that constantly saying you can do better, you can do better, you can do better, or you can get this mark is not the only instructional conversation that you can have with a child, then teachers will also change. And like beyond it, right, this is a very small gathering. It's almost, and I'm almost reminded of the freedom struggle. Okay, Romba, apne diverse example. But the freedom struggle, we're talking about freedom for our children. The freedom struggle, it was all these conversations were happening in these small rooms. People such as Sivatanka's mom, Preeti, hosting these conversations where people are talking about a new India, they're talking about education, they're talking about freedom, and those whispers actually slowly gained that momentum, and that momentum then fueled a new imagination. And then we went ahead with the freedom that we received, right, which we got, which we were gifted, and we are grateful for. So I think it has to start small, in small ecosystems where teachers believe that we need to listen to our children, and that slowly needs to be accepted by parents. It has to be accepted by the larger community. It has to be showcased by the success stories of our children, and it has to then fuel another child to ask for this and not the old. That's when that change will happen, and that's when that small whisper will become into a movement. Was that satisfactory
Super.
enough?
On for that.
I would have led with any answer is only as good as the question asked. So we'll find out whether this answer is good. Right? I think, like Raji says, small ecosystems will be one way of making this kind of change, grow in society. I wonder if when I built HLC, Gautama from here at KFI, Gautama and I were sitting across the table, and he said, you and I are the only fools, I think, who are still thinking education can be transformed. This is the worst time in human history to be building a school, he told me. And I went and built a school after that. But the challenge is there's not enough people who are committed to a transformation, who have access to creating the transformation. There are lots of people who are committed to the transformation, but access to capital, access to resources, access to networks, there's so many things that go into if we run a successful organization today, it's not because of two of us, it's because of thousands of people who have poured their hearts into building that institution before us, and surely after us, right? So many things have to happen for a good idea to emerge, and the real challenge is there's lots of good ideas there. In Bangalore, I see plenty of people experimenting. This idea that experimenting is important, failure, safe space to fail is important. In a place like Silicon Valley, if 95 companies fail and 5 companies succeed, they don't worry about the 95 that failed. The 5 that succeeded are creating an ecosystem for new companies to try. And I think education should sort of mimic that idea. It's okay to fail, but failure here means loss of capital, loss of resources. And so it's a very complex problem, honestly. To say that we know the answers would be naive, I think. But I hope more people in Chennai, at least for sure, embrace new ways of learning more that are rooted in the child's curiosity, because wherever it's being experimented and done, they're having a blast. The kids are really thriving. Kids are seeing new possibilities that Chennai kids are not seeing, only because those opportunities are not available today. But I don't know how it will happen, where the transformation will begin. But like Raji says, it'll probably have to begin in small pockets only.
But But I'll say something, Naveen and Raji. Though you say it's a complex problem and you don't have answers, I'm a relatively new entrant into this Beyond 8 family, just a couple of months. But I met your facilitators, and I must say they're amazingly attuned to this concept that learning happens this way and not this way, and that's a wonderful thing. So you managed to do that. So maybe it's not as complex a problem. Okay, Naveen, I know you've been speaking quite a bit. The question is for you, so please. See, hyper personalized learning, we agree that's important. But today's world, the kids need some other skills like social skills, collaborative skills. So, is it really possible to, on one hand, be hyper personalized, but on the other hand, develop these kind of skills, which is so important teamwork, collaboration? So, how is it possible? They seem to be going in opposite directions.
I maybe it's themes or stories. Since Janaki is here, I used to swim for Karnataka state team as a school kid. So I used to spend 8 hours swimming. First of all, the answer is I think individual. There are things that people pursue individually. Individual goals, group work, I think, is the response I will give. Because for me, when I think about swimming, I used to be very good at two events: 100-meter butterfly and 200-meter butterfly. Those were the only two events I would swim. But I mean, over the years, initially everything, and I found out I'm not good at everything. Like a lot of, maybe it was just me, and then I realized only I seem to have not been anything other than these two, so I did more of that. And but the thing was, while I was swimming for 100-meter butterfly and 200-meter butterfly only in the boys category, 14 to 16 or 10 to 12 or whatever category I swam in, I was having fun with the other kids. I was training with the other kids. I would travel with the other kids. We would visit each other. We were a whole family. So in Beyond It, while every child, one child may be pursuing law, another child astrophysics, another child swimming, another child gymnastics, another child horse riding. There's so many, Formula 4 and all sorts of things. Or special education and psychology, as some people do. They had so many other things in which they were collaborating. There's projects that they're doing, Militva, Kartavyam, learner-led projects exist. So we shouldn't think that individual pursuits automatically means you're alone. You're still part of a tribe. In my case, it was swimming. Today's children at Beyond 8, they're just such amazing kids coming together, each pursuing different things. But they do so many things together. They not only learn subjects together, they do projects together, they do fun stuff together. They support each other in their pursuits. All of that is collaboration. And to us, collaboration is a very, very important skill. I said this earlier, that we're teaching children to outpace their own friends in school education. And Beyond It, we're saying, enable the other person. So I used to say this a lot. I don't meet learners enough these days because I'm working behind the scenes. But I would say, surround yourself with champions. You must find people better than you around you, so that your life is richer as a result. So all the time the kids are surrounded by so many wonderful people that they're learning so many things from. I'm sure Aruna and Preeti will testify to this, that they're seeing their children collaborate in ways that we could not have imagined, but the space must allow for it. Right? And you shouldn't think, unless everything is done with groups. One parent came to me long back and asked, such a small ecosystem, my child's coming from Chettinad where there's 13,000 kids. How will, really there are 13,000 kids, because the principal told me, don't come at 3:30, you'll die in a stampede. Right? So, when a school has 13,000 kids, he has more choice. I said, okay, good point. Let's ask your child, how many friends do you have? He said, one or two. I said, one or two? it doesn't mean out of 13,000, one or two, surely out of 50, zero only it will be, right? But that's not how it works. You should understand that it's not if you had 40,000, you'll have five or six. It doesn't work like that. It's how do you build relationships among these children that they form friendships and they collaborate. So, long answer, but point is, I think there's lots of opportunities to collaborate if the ecosystem is always thinking about how can children come together and do stuff together, support one another in their pursuits, recognize that our difference is what makes us beautiful, not our similarities.
Wow.
Right.
Very nice. You want to add something, Raji?
Yeah, along those same lines, but taking a little different direction. A few fellows who are learning about the different ways education can be, they had visited our center and they said, oh wow, that child, he's doing equestrian, another child, he's doing finances, another child, she's interested in law, oh this child, he's going to be a chef. What a diversity of children do you have? I'm like, hello, every classroom is filled with this diversity. Just because you have put uniforms, you have made them look the same, do the same, ask the same, and write the same answers, doesn't mean that they are all not unique. They are already unique. And in an ecosystem, when you celebrate that uniqueness, the child feels okay. Once the child starts feeling that I am okay, then the child is ready to make friends. When the child is ready to collaborate, when the child is ready to work in groups, when the child is ready to lead, the child is ready to follow, the child is ready to support, we miss out the fact that we think that by just putting 13,000 students together, that friendships will bond. Actually, it starts with the child, with the self, acknowledge that inner voice in that child, and then just let them free. They will choose 10 friends, they will choose one friend, but it will be their choice. And it's not something that we have curated or assumed that would be possible. So that's how, in Beyond It, when you're acknowledging every child and you are letting them make mistakes, feel safe, and not be judged for who they are and what they want to pursue, then they become free and they make friends.
I need to Hi Raji. I truly agree to the words that you say. Acknowledging, yes, as a kids, even the kids are acknowledging the other kids. Initially, in the traditional schools, when they see there will be a set of friends who get a marks, they'll be in a team. Sports person will be on a team. Right now, our kids feel the same and they respect the peers also. Yes, he has a painting talent, he's flourishing. He is doing a chef, they are not judging. So one thing which a positive point which we see is in the next generation when they're coming together, they learn to respect everyone irrespective of the field which they are in. Whatever field they may be, they will respect the others. They love to respect the other person like a human than with looking at the profession that they are in. So it's, I think so, without knowingly we are creating that to the next generation.
You know, gentlemen and ladies, I had. Oh, please, just a minute, ma'am. Yeah. I think you should come this side, a little feedback.
I just want to say that I think there is no kid who doesn't want to be in a group. Every child wants to be part of some group. But some kids don't know how to do it, and some kids know that if they try, they're going to fail. And I think once the environment is where they feel safe, then they try to be bold, and that's when they take the risks. And that's when they can be themselves. And I think that's what Beyond It truly, that's where they really shine. At least as a parent, I would say that.
Thank you.
Actually, ma'am, if you had said the same thing by looking at the video.
No.
Oh, you got it. Fine.
Yeah.
Thank you. So, actually, I had a list of 8 questions. And actually, I'm enjoying this, but I think time is so. The last question I'll ask Preeti, and Preeti, the question to you is. No, Bhanu and Gauri don't want to do that, so I'm not going to cut it. I'm going to ask you to do that. So, I mean, you chose Beyond It for your daughter. So, what influenced your choice? And now that you've taken a decision, how happy are you that you made this decision?
So when we get up in the morning, when we have a dreams of our schools or college, that full day, it will be like a happy thing. Seriously, that happiness we want our children to enjoy. Even before, seriously, Raji and Naveen, we didn't know beyond it exists. Sorry to say this. Even we were just 2 minutes away from Tiruvanmayur center, and our house was just 2 minutes away. And I seriously need to thank Kavita, Pooja's mother, for letting us to know about beyond it. First thing we asked Shivatmika, are you okay with the small group? Initially, she was also in Abacus, which was also a very close group. Then we said, it's only 50 of us. Are you okay? She was like, yes, ma, I'm happy. And her father's only main point was, when my child goes to school and when she come back, she should have a smiling face. Wow. He should have a beautiful memory. If that is a school, whatever the school it may be, please to join her. Yes, and true, so true. I was telling to many of the teachers in the morning also, I don't believe my child is non-stop talking at home. She's an introvert. She is an introvert. We were like, you beyond that too, I think so it will be just 6 months. Beyond it, poi then ipti marita. When I ask her to go to Nilagiri's and purchase the things and come back, she will never do that. Amma, send the driver, send the driver. I asked the driver to be in the front. Now she's going to West Side. Amma, with the friends, can I go somewhere? Shivatmika. This is too much. But as a parents, this is what we need of. And not only with the thing, with the curriculum also. Of course, in the growing world, we need the curriculum, we need the marks. Without that, we are in India, of course. We can't, we can't pull the factor aside. She's studying. She's putting her effort, but without as a mother insisting on that, she's doing it by herself. Whatever the marks, that is the next factor. But she's happy studying it. That is what we needed. She loved the subjects and she studies. As a parents, we are really so happy, and we try what are the measures that we can do to make this beyond it known to
So nice.
Thank you.
Wow, it's very nice. Anybody here wants to share, ask some questions? It's a nice time to do that. Yeah, please. Yeah, sure.
Thanks to my wife, I wasn't even prepared for this.
Oh, 1 minute.
Not expected to be.
We want the sound, please.
You want the sound? Okay. See, I was not prepared for this because I slept at 3 a.m. and why did I say I'm not prepared for it? Because I'm so glad you guys made my Saturday. I hope you make my kids' future as well. Yeah. See, I think he spoke about all the good sides, right? And I'm super convinced this is how education should be, right? But what is that one or two challenges in this that I'm not able to think right now? I want that to be spoken a little. Can you?
Yeah. One or two, hundreds of that. First of all, just helping people understand to do things differently. It can be children, it can be parents, it can be teachers, whoever it is in the ecosystem, just understanding that education can be reimagined to communicate it. That is the first barrier in which you need to inspire, you need to, I know Naveen gives this example of the dancer, the first dancer who is, there is a large group of people and one guy goes and dances. That time it looks funny. Oh, why is he flailing his hands and legs and he's looking so funny. But the minute another person dances with him, there is rhythm, there is motion, there is beauty, and then slowly more people join and that becomes the norm. But the first time when the dancer danced, it looks very unusual. And I think that has been our biggest challenge in the way of, how do we communicate that you can have school plus with your child's self-worth intact, with hard work in the things that the child likes and not because the system demands. To help people understand this narrative has been one of the challenges. The easiest thing has been children. They know their voice, they understand, they know that, okay, this place is good for me because they are still having some curiosity intact and they have their intuition intact. Our intuition, I don't think most of us over here don't connect with our intuition, which is the inner child that Janaki was talking about, right? So they intuitively gravitate towards things that protect them, that nurture them, where there is kindness. And I know, Aruna, you keep talking about kindness, right? So they gravitate. But then how do we balance that? And then our facilitators also have a challenge, right? We are following Cambridge curriculum, which is a challenging curriculum. It's not something that is, you can just walk away. You can't just wing it. You need to be exceptionally capable in delivering that curriculum. And you also need to be a compassionate human being. You need to be a person who understands that that child has his strengths, his stretches, and this is the curriculum. And you need to blend that with deep understanding to be able to ensure that while you allow the learner to move at their own pace and get the grades that they seek, but you also imbibe in them what we are building through Beyond It, that philosophy of you need to nurture your passions, you need to pursue your passions, you need to listen to your inner voice and then move forward. So that balance of a rigorous curriculum, be it NIOS or be it Cambridge. Cambridge has its own rigor, NIOS has its own rigor, and Beyond It has its philosophy of we need to be kind and compassionate and empathetic, and we need to care and we need to forgive and we need to have a safe space, and we need to know that the child will be upset today and angry tomorrow and will come in happy day after tomorrow. We know also how do you sort of blend all of that. That's the real challenge. These challenges don't exist in most other places only because there is no listening, there is no acknowledging. You're a roll number, I come in, I deliver, I leave. Of course, there are those beautiful teachers that we all, who recognize that, yes, this child can read and she can read confidently. Yes, those are the examples, and that's why each one of us, despite our education system, we have those memories because of these beautiful souls that each one of us has experienced, right? So I think the learners' voices are shushed. And this, when people say that, oh, your children, they're all, each one is pursuing this passion, that surprises because they have never heard anything in a classroom. So the challenge is to just understanding that kindness and compassion can coexist with academic rigor and a learner's passion and pursuit for college. And Akanksha loses sleep over internships. Sujata will lose sleep over college. எப்படிடா நீ உனக்கு நாளைக்கு அந்த அட்மிஷன் வந்து க்ளோஸ் ஆக போகிறது, நீ இன்னும் எனக்கு உன்னோட SOP அனுப்பலன்னு she is worrying, and the teacher is saying, if I have to write this SOP for you, you should have done that research work, நீ பண்ணிருக்கணும்ல. So it's it's an organization, it's an ecosystem that is caring, but that caring is that intentionality is coming from a space of care and not about பாத்தியா சொன்னேன்ல படிச்சிருக்கோம்ல வாங்கினேன் மார்க் வாங்கினேன் ஊத்திட்டு கொடுத்து அவ்வளோதான் மறந்து போயிட்டேன் ஓவர். ஸோ ஃப்ரம் தட் sarcasm to I told you so, from there to let's go கண்ணா இப்போ பண்ணலாம், சரி பரவாயில்ல நீ அது பண்ணியா, அதை வச்சு நம்ம என்ன, what we can do, how do we move forward, how the mentor actually sort of becomes an anchor for the learner. So while all the facilitators, we say that the physics facilitator is concerned about physics, chemistry facilitator is concerned about chemistry, the mentor is concerned about the learner. The subject for the mentor is the child. So when the child comes in and has their ups and downs and all of that, the mentor anchors so that the physics teacher is not having to deal with that and the chemistry teacher is not having to deal with that. And there is a team of, there is an army, there is a village of people, intentional people who are supporting that child. And you hope that, and you can't think that, okay, beyond it, day one, transformation complete. It's not that. You need to wait. Sometimes it starts at grade 9 and sometimes it's when they give their progression speeches in Kritagnya. We experienced that this June. One child who just really tested us. அப்படியே அடுத்து எடுத்துட்டான் literally for 4 years. And we were, I know Praveen is here, where is he, the transformative agent for the child. It's the child had gone through so many ups and downs and arguments and this and that, and it's a messy journey, right? But when we heard him during Kritagnya, during our progression day, we realized, okay, we did right. We constantly heard him. We were there for him. He was not expecting us to deliver results. He was expecting us to be present when he was figuring out the messiness that life offers. And it ended with gratitude. So I think it's loads of challenges. Starts with children, teachers, parents, and the ecosystem as well. Because we are in a hurry. We want the best. We care. We are so close, and sometimes that can inhibit us from wanting the best for our children.
Raji, I need to answer this. See, as a parent, sorry. As a parent, you will be many pressure not from inside us. Societal pressure is the biggest pressure which you will face. When we just moved a child initially from one school to the other different school, it was like, "Ava padikka maata adanal thukki pottaanga." It's like a stigma which gets around your child. But that is not a case. As a parents, we know what is best for the child. We need to be, as a parents, we need to be really very clear, are they very happy? When the child is happy and she is ready and she is very comfortable with the environment, world is in the hand. You will come out, they will really come out with the flying colors. Actually, societal pressure is the biggest pressure as a parents we face when we get them into the alternative schools. Even with beyond 8, I had many of my friends or family asking me, 3 நாள் தான் ஸ்கூல் மிச்ச நாள்லாம் தூங்கிட்டே இருப்பாளே. So what she will be doing 2 days, if he got used to this only 3 days and 2 days he will be really very lazy. Then when she is going to the college, he will be suffering a lot. But that is not the case. The kids, the pressure which we think from the society is exactly the opposite with the school. They were like, it's a small school, sports day irukadilla or concern vanchunga. The high school, they won't have a sports day. How are you going to enroll? I was like, see if yes. So yes, as a parents, societal pressure is the biggest pressure which we are facing in this society. But we parents, we need to decide. We need to take call. This is good for a child. We are moving her. Those are the few things which they miss. Yes, that's okay. But what are the other things which we are achieving, which they are gaining?
I can add to the thing that on adding to Preeti's point is that typically entrepreneurial families which are doing their own work, they are willing to think this through. They don't have any problem actually. They love beyond it. Because they're not thinking of trying to solve every problem through one organization. Because do you know anybody who solves everything? If you do, please tell me. Often there isn't, right? Schools are somehow assumed to be places which solve everything. They're also human beings. They're coming from the same communities we're all living in. They're also normal people trying to do good things for children. But be asking one set of people to do everything to a child is impossible. A child may have an interest that, if a child is interested in law, is school the best place to learn it? No. If the child is interested in cricket, is school the best place to learn it? If child is interested in physics, is school the best place to learn it? If the child is wanting to crack exams, is school the best place to learn it? You have to ask yourself this question: why are we trying to make the school the best place for everything when it isn't? Right? So entrepreneurial families typically don't have any problem. In fact, they see this as a fantastic journey because they're not worried about what society thinks. They're only thinking, is my child happy? Is the child learning? Is the child learning with rigor? All of their children are learning with rigor. There's not just that day, Aruna, you were talking about this, right? Her son is pushing himself to do better actually. Are you willing to recognize that he is different from somebody else who is struggling to push himself? Both are not bad children. Both are lovely children. They're just wired differently. And so families, when they are unafraid of what other people think, and they only worried about what the child requires and willing to back that child, everything goes away, I would imagine.
So
Well said.
I want to give it to Janaki because finally
You have to tell us
no,
the story.
What Ricky and
End with the story.
Yeah.
Naveen said is your WWPS.
Yeah.
So since
What
you
will
are
people
the,
say?
the initiator and the owner and the intellectual property for that.
There was a play I acted in, which was called WW. I mean, what will people say? And we had a WhatsApp group which said WWPS. So Adilend, I got that, and I
Own that
said,
handle,
yes,
huh?
I will own that handle.
Please.
Okay, so
Quickly summarize
yes,
whatever.
Please tag her when you go to use this.
I think we've spoken enough about the need for an organization, an institution called Beyond 8. We've also, in this room, in this place, we are all invested and we don't have to be convinced. But yes, there are a whole lot of people who need to know. I mean, Preeti mentioned something very beautiful, thanks to Kavita. I wouldn't have come. So again, she spoke about the freedom struggle, the analogy. And I think that is how it is very, very important that even if there were just 5 people in the audience, this discussion had to go. Because where will you start? Where will you wait for that full house? 25 people, 25 chairs. Instagramல ரொம்ப அழகா இருக்கும். It doesn't matter because anyway, people who don't want to know about, they will just doom scroll.
Yeah.
They are not your audience. But I would like to end with a very, very beautiful story about, see, Beyond 8 is in a place called Quest. Okay? Quest has now moved to Besant Nagar. So Sharanya called me and she said, let's do a storytelling session. So it's all thrown, there was maths and it's a very unconventional kind of setup. So I went prepared. I normally do a warm-up before I start and I tell the children 3 stories. They need to know how many stories am I supposed to do. It's like the presentation. My presentation will take about 5 minutes, 12 minutes. They're also adults who need to be known. So we were all there. There's this one little boy, maybe about 4 years. I don't know what his father told him. He came not very happy, looked very, he came, he sat down. And I did my warm up and all. He patiently heard that. The moment I said, now can we all listen to a story? And they're all invested. It's a very small, intimate group. He got up, he put his palm on my mouth and he said, Podum. And you can imagine, nothing had ever prepared me for this kind of audience reaction. The father was so embarrassed. He said, I'm so sorry, ma'am. The organizer, Sharanya, was like, what do I do now? I'm so sorry, Janki. I said, no, let's see what. So, I don't know, maybe he wanted to play. He was not in a mood to listen.
How old was
So,
he? Small child.
about 3.5, very suspended. I still remember him. He came and then thankfully, my luck, there were some Lego toys. Because see, Quest has things thrown all around. So, the father and I convinced him, would you like to, sit with the Legos and play and all? And he said, okay, and he settled down there. I went on, story number 1, story number 2, story number 3. Occasionally looking at him, he was immersed in that Lego building and all that. And we finished, and then mandatory photo, all that happened. I don't know what happened to this guy. After everything, he came, gave me a tight hug and said, thank you. Was he listening? 100% he was listening. Was he looking at me while listening? No. But he was listening. So that day, it was the most liberating moment in saying that people don't have to look eye to eye for your storytelling. They just have to give you a pair of ears and they have to be invested. And that day, that child told me that he was still curious. He didn't want to sit there. He didn't want to look at my face. He just wanted to be there. So I think I can draw a parallel of that story to what Beyond 8, like you said, a child may be not at all interested in a particular methodology followed in teaching science, physics, chemistry, or whatever. And he might be giving the answers to the facilitator saying, I'm not. So you're all listening. Because the root of the most beautiful thing about storytelling is not in the telling. It's about listening. It's how we listen with our heart, with our mind, with all the senses, and we are listening because the child is telling you what he or she wants. And if beyond 8 can do that and is continuously doing that, because it's been 5 years, right? And I mean, you've just started, because imagine whatever the graduation or something, they come back and they form a WhatsApp group of alumnus, and they said, you know what, and they start talking about teachers, and they talk about Naveen and Raji and how she did this and how AI did this. That is what we want. And for all you know, they might be building another Beyond 8 somewhere else.
Yeah.
You know, for their children. Because I think, I mean, though I'm sure Beyond 8 can spread its wings, you are also sowing the seeds of a thought process,
Absolutely.
which is very, very unique. And I think for that, it takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of investment of your time, effort, enthusiasm, and to keep going. And to say, because I'm sure you'll have those days also where you say, why are we even doing this? You know, because, sorry.
Too many.
So just think of this podum child that day. And imagine, I mean, that day I could sleep that night. I said, what could I have done differently? Nothing. I just needed to be patient. Imagine my reaction if I had reacted saying, I am the storyteller. How can I? That is why storytelling is the most grounding thing that I have ever done, because it is my story. I know the story, you don't. That is, it's not theatrical. I cannot rehearse. I can only make the story my own and present it to you. Anniki and the musician, whatever he sings, she sings. That manodharma, no? Storytelling has also a lot of manodharma. Today also, he leaked the questions. But I'm like, AI to take it. How can I ask AI what will it? But then AI also knows, no, what all I'm used to, because I'll ask, rewrite. That's because of sheer laziness. You need to type in something, and you're saying, oh, and you have AI on your phone, you have AI on your laptop, you have AI on Google. Everybody is listening. But I think when we listen with our heart, I think that is when transition, transformation, and true awakening happens. So, and I think kudos to Beyond 8 for just keeping on doing what you're doing, because you don't know, alumnus meet le enne koopidunga.
Actually, January there is Katha Sangam.
Okay, done.
So alumni coming and sharing their stories. We'll definitely, please remember, we should.
Okay.
Thank you,
hope.
Janaki.
Thank you.
One point I need to add to this. I could relate Beyond 8 and Tanera somewhere similar to this. What is the thing is, as a Tata, they do, not for the branding purpose of thing, Tata always go with the purity. Whatever, whenever we say in a market, in the price, it's so pure, na, they will always keep calm and they will stick. See, society la அத்தனை பேர் இருக்காங்க, மிச்ச எல்லா சில்க்ஸும் கொண்டு வரதுக்கு பியூரிட்டிக்கு யார் இருக்காங்க, நம்ம கிராஃப்டை கொண்டு வரதுக்கு யார் இருக்காங்க. இட்ஸ் ஓகே இஃப் த கஸ்டமர்ஸ் ஆர் லோ, இட்ஸ் ஓகே இஃப் த வாக்-இன்ஸ் ஆர் லோ, we are going to keep it pure, we are going to keep it ethnic, we are going to bring back the culture. So I could relate the words with Beyond 8. So whatever the number of children, so the intake is very low, they are going to be coming out in very loud colors. And no way they go beyond with this. We always used to say, inga opposite la vara Mahalakshmi nalli la inda price ku irukku. They'll be coming back. Inga gold rate theriyulla inga eppadi Kanjivarathla vara mudiyum. So they stick to the thing. So that's a very nice common thing I see across. How beautiful. And so nice that you are preserving all your values and systems that you want to. Thank you.
So thank you, panel, for this wonderful discussion. Right. So I and Preeti will exit. These three of you can be there, please.
Wonderful panel. I don't have any words to say because all of them have been spoken. But I now Gauri, hand you over to Gauri and Bhanu to introduce.
I was supposed to do a presentation about Beyond It.
What we'll do, we play the Beyond It video first.
Yeah.
And then,
Then we'll get up.
Yeah.
actually, Jani, you can sit here and see.
Yeah,
Sure. Nice.
Who's playing the video?